Hello and welcome to the Metropolitan Elites. We've changed our stance. We've realised that the left is wrong. It's all wrong. And everything we said is wrong. So we've got a new mission statement. This is our mission statement. The cosy English. And of course, Trump's completely wrong about places in England not being safe to walk. If you're a policeman or otherwise, it's perfectly safe to go for a walk around. Yes, the Murder Mile and Moss Side equals Manchester are places I'd love to go for a walk with the Don. Or, quotation mark, hey, you two guys, quotation mark. Yes, why don't we do that sometime? But of course, when Don Trump expressed his trepidation of such parts of the precious UK, every man and his dog was up in arms and sent a petition to Parliament to have a travel ban imposed on the Donald. What the fuck? I even uncounted this lack of will to, quotation mark, ever make or receive in kind the Don's appreciation at, quotation mark, any part of the British Isles being unsafe to go visiting, apostrophe. When I said that to a woman from Manchester equals, quotes, perhaps Moss Side might not be a friendly place in the UK to go walking about in, she went nuts and said nasty things about Donald Trump. She maintained the whole of Manchester is safe and that Donald T didn't know what he was talking about. She then went on to have a conversation with a Maori woman from Australia and totally ignored me, even though I tried to pretend to agree with her. Why are the English so thin-skinned? Yeah,
good question.
So, with that in mind, this is the news. I read this article. It's an opinion piece, and it is a bit over the top, but its essential message is, that neoliberalism hasn't worked. We kind of already knew that, but it's become really obvious with the electorate. And we're seeing it wind down.
Yeah.
This is the sort of end days of neoliberalism as we know it. It'll have to be spun into something else, or things will have to change dramatically.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, people say that Jeremy Corbyn's politics is an older politics, and he's obviously benefiting from the fact that it's different to the current politics. Any party or faction of a party that comes up with a new solution, a new settlement, as it were, in terms of politics, is likely to run away with it. Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, look what happened to UKIP. Their whole ticket was a anti-establishment, although they are the establishment ticket, whatever that was. A lot like, I think their message actually was an awful lot like Trump. I'm going to change things. What are you going to do? It's going to be different. Changing it. A lot of that. And I think that's the bit of it that had the effect, really. And obviously the media giving them more coverage than anyone ever in history. 2 MPs that became one.
Yeah. I mean, but surely UKIP, after this referendum, they have no point.
I know. You'd think that, wouldn't you? But,
wow.
Although the SNP. Look what happened to the SNP.
Yeah, but okay.
They took every seat. Was it every seat, or whatever but one?
Okay, so there's the point. Yeah, actually, if it's a decisive victory for the Stay campaign, then UKIP are gone. They're finished. There's no point for their existence. If it's marginal,
yes,
then there is justification for a UKIP existence,
which is likely to be.
Yeah,
and there'll be talk of voter fraud, I'm sure, if it's a stay. Possibly if it's a leave as well, but certainly if it's a stay. There'll be talk of voter fraud, that it was actually a lie and they cheated because the British people are...
Well, actually, I saw an advert pop up on the computer this morning, an invasive advert on YouTube, which was about the In campaign, and I did feel a little bit, actually, no, this isn't right, I shouldn't be getting adverts on YouTube for remaining in the referendum.
Yeah, you get them all the time.
Yeah, it's a bit out of order. You mentioned voter fraud, and I'm just going to go through the Times and see if there's a story in here about this, but it turns out that there's about 20 odd Conservative seats.
20, yeah. With a majority of 12.
Yeah, with a majority of 12, which...
They didn't cheat on the votes, but they spent too much, didn't they?
Yeah, they overspent. So basically they had this battle bus going around bullying people and...
But basically what they've done is that they've sort of kind of...
They've shifted the...
Well, it's a bus, so it came from London, so it's the London one.
They got one of their mates from KPMG or PwC to fit all the books for them. So... They pay less tax and
win the election with the majority.
Win the election.
Which answers the question, doesn't it? When we said, how did this happen? I mean, the Cameron becoming Prime Minister was perfectly realistic. Cameron being Prime Minister in a minority government was perfectly realistic. Or a Lib Dem thing was realistic. But not a Conservative majority. And there's your answer right there. You take 20 away. You've got Cameron with a minority government.
What it requires, by the sounds of it, is for voters in those constituencies to complain to the police.
Yeah.
And then the police will be compelled to investigate it or ask for an extension, because there's 12 months basically. There's a cap on it, so after 12 months for the purpose of stability or whatever, you can't call into question the result of an election.
Yeah.
But if people sort of complain to the police, they can apply for an extension, or they can investigate it.
Is that why it's only come out now?
Possibly, because we're getting very close to 1st of May, wasn't
It's
it?
too late, really, isn't it? And obviously, even if they did, they can do another whitewash style. Well, we've found that it was fine.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if anything happens on that front. It doesn't tend to happen in this country. Once an election's been called, no one really questions it.
Yeah.
Even if there's question endogenous.
Well, I remember someone mentioning this, saying, well, the result's so strange, shouldn't there be a bit of an investigation? People like that were shouted down on the message boards. And you're right, we're just not equipped to think that. Everywhere else is obviously corrupt, except here.
Till next week.
Till next week and beyond. See you next week.